This is a story of a band of friends. Some was marathon runner, some could run 100 kilometers. But it is mainly the story of a man and his fight against a disease, Cystic Fibrosis. This man is called Jean Yves Quinio. Jean Yves got a son with this terrible sickness. In 1996, I worked in a chemical pharmaceutical company from a Bicham group, and I took part from the relay from London factory, Paris and Mayenne. We left the Bicham factory to join the ferry to France. The idea is never stop to run from London to Paris. Also on the ferry, this is one English runner and one French runner together. In Paris, Gérard Lenormand, a French pop star, waiting for us. This relay was intended to make joke about the disease, to better fight it. Our aim was to talk about the sickness and run 20 kilometers in a minimum of time. In Mayenne, a strong public came to share. It was just fantastic. In 1997, we made the start from a Brussels relay, and of course there is also a factory near where we have carried out the departure. We run night and day without stopping, sometimes in a team, sometimes alone. This day I was so proud to cross the Belgium border. In 1998 we made the first start from Germany. In all German villages, OT became a festival when we went. It was a very special atmosphere and we spent a very good time. The relay became more and more popular in 1999. Oh German, it was in 2002. Impressed, by example, Bogart, who got the sickness and became my friend and suffered from a terrible sickness. And Dirk, his father, he also got a child with this sickness and just ran for fight against this sickness. The most impressive relay was a relay Berlin-Paris-Mayenne, where the storming German team has the image of Otto. He was close to 70 years and he always wanted to run without stopping. I was one of relay who can speak English, so I communicate so much with them. So later I came in Germany to see my friend. The last relay for my participation was a relay Stockholm, Copenhagen, Hamburg, Paris. It was in 2002. And our German friend left Berlin to join us in Hamburg. So we went in a Stockholm hospital for talk about genetic sickness and how to cure. Stockholm hospital was an advanced hospital about genetic treatment, how to do with people who got this sickness. Our goal was not so much to collect money, but what happening in other countries. Like in a Nordic country, it was discovered that the research laboratory work together and not a separate layer. In Denmark, research is funded by the state and OPCH gives the possibility to talk about the sickness and make popular the movement against genetic sickness. I was so happy to meet all my German friends in Hamburg without the expectation despite the rain.
My name is Burkhard van Schleder. I am 38 years old and I have cystic fibrosis. 2 patients suffering from cystic fibrosis rapidly died at the age of 25 and 28 years. It was clear to me, now you must set an example.
For his birthday, I went to the native village for Burkhard. It was really a good moment to meet my German friend. One of the most striking moments was the rise of the Champs-Élysées with a Republic Guard in motorcycle which stopped all the traffic for Marcus Pass. Everything could have stopped some years ago when the son of Jean Yves Quinio died. But he never stopped to push a movement about fighting against the sickness. During this time, Bisham, who became GlaxoSmithKline, became GSK, and we got new equipment. We went to the Palais de l'Élysée, house of the president. We saw Jacques Chirac, Jacques Toubon, François Fillon. My name is Dominique. I was employed by Bisham. I was volunteer from 1996 to 2002. One of the most impressive moments was when we was near our hometown, because all the school came for participate and run with us. It was a fantastic moment.
It seemed that more than half of the city came to cheer us. Long giant human chains lined the road and the race was similar in the last few meters of an international competition.
In the beginning of the movement in 1996, people who got this sickness cannot live more 20-year-old. Now they can live more 40-year-old.
The basic biological principles of cystic fibrosis, the organs affected, and the various treatment options for this disease. So what do you, a panda, or a neighbor's pet have in common? You're all made up of cells. The cells can be thought of as the subunit of life. Inside these cells are a set of instructions called DNA. DNA is made up of the bases adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. You can think of these bases as instructions that code for genes in your body. For example, the DNA contains instructions for traits such as hair type, eye color, and height. When a nucleotide base is added, removed, or substituted, it is known as mutation. These mutations can change the DNA code, which may affect the traits that are expressed in your body. Now that we know the fundamental genetic makeup of our body, let's move to the next big question. What is cystic fibrosis? Cystic fibrosis is a disorder caused by mutation in the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulatory gene, known as CFTR for short. This mutation occurs on chromosome 7. This disease is an autosomal recessive disorder, which means that the disease is inherited when a child inherits a defective copy of the gene from both parents who are carriers of the gene. A carrier is an individual who has a defective copy and a normal copy of a gene, and is unaffected themselves. The CFTR gene codes for the CFTR protein, which is an important chloride channel. The purpose of this channel is to pump ions in and out of the cell. The symptoms and associated complications of cystic fibrosis are caused by the dysfunctional CFTR protein channel, which is found throughout the gastrointestinal tract. Affected individuals have elevated sweat electrolyte levels, pancreatic insufficiencies, and lung infections. These signs are observed in most patients, but not all, since severity of the disease can range widely amongst individuals. In Canada, 1 in 3,600 are born with this disease. Studies have shown that cystic fibrosis is more frequent in European Caucasian populations than in any other population around the world. In addition, in the mid-1900s, the median survival age of individuals with this disease was 8 years, but today the median survival age has drastically improved to 30 years, mainly due to better understanding of the disease and improved clinical approaches. Now that we know more about the disease itself, let's talk about what organs are affected and the various treatment options available. Recent studies have shown a higher understanding of the underlying causes of cystic fibrosis at a genetic level. More than 1,500 genetic mutations have been linked to the onset of this disease. However, the most relevant mutation, found in 66% of affected patients, is the deletion of the phenylalanine in position 508 on the CFTR gene. This inherited disease mainly affects the lungs, pancreas, liver, intestine, and sinuses. The most prominent organ affected are the lungs. Excess mucus causes infections and eventual permanent lung damage due to trapped bacteria. Normal digestive functions are also altered by this disease, as the mucus blocks digestive enzymes from reaching the intestines. Therefore, food, specifically fats and proteins, are not digested properly in patients. Finally, inflammation and infection of the sinuses is a common effect of this disease, as this disease affects the layer of epithelium found in the upper respiratory tract. With this advanced knowledge of the causes of cystic fibrosis, a number of treatments have been proposed, with the intent of these treatments being to prevent and control infections in lungs by removing mucus and to prevent blockages in the intestines. A number of treatments for this disease are available, including antibiotics for infections of the airways, chest physical therapy, and other specific medications. Antibiotics are generally the primary treatment for people with cystic fibrosis, as they most likely will have a lung infection. Based on the type of bacteria and the severity of the patient's condition, there are different types of antibiotics that are available, some of which include oral, inhaled, or intravenous antibiotics. A second type of treatment is chest physical therapy, which serves as a way to loosen and remove mucus from the lungs. This should be done 3 to 4 times a day, and it involves repeatedly pounding one's chest and back in order to dislodge the mucus. As it might be physically demanding for some people, there are devices such as mechanical percussors or a positive expiratory pump mask, which both serve the purpose of clearing mucus from the airways. Cystic fibrosis can also be treated by medications, most notably a group called bronchodilators, which help to open the airways by relaxing the surrounding muscles. Finally, as mentioned before, the pancreas and intestines are unable to function efficiently because of this disease. Digestion of food becomes difficult, and eventually malnutrition becomes a cause of the disease. Prevention of malnutrition has become a greater focal point in recent years, as it could help the patient fight a persisting lung infection. Oral pancreatic enzymes are provided to help digest fats and proteins, and supplements of vitamin A, D, E, and K are provided to replenish the fat-soluble vitamins that the intestine can no longer absorb. By implementing these techniques, we can hope to continue lessening the incidence of this disease